So guys, in this video we are gonna be making this completely procedural open world landscape including the materials and the random tiling in the landscape which has random height variations and all these procedurally generated foliage trees and in a way to make them more optimized so that it can run even in the low end budget PCs. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, first I'm gonna create a new landscape, new level. Okay, just create a basic level. Okay, a small one is enough right now. I'll delete this. Create a new one. Uh, size the size of 63 into 63 quads. So I'm gonna create it. Okay, I don't need this material. I'm just gonna create it. Okay, yeah. See, as you can see, we have created our very first landscape. So next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a landscape blueprint. Okay, a landscape brush blueprint. Okay, I'm gonna create a new layer. Call it landscape edit layers, and we'll call it layer one, or we'll call it height layer. Okay, rename. We'll call it height layer. Okay. Next, what I'm gonna do is add a custom landmass brush. Okay, and we'll just drag it to the entire portion of our landscape. Okay, we'll just cover our entire landscape. Next, what I'm going to do is go into the details panel, and here I'm just going to add a cap shape and go over here and give a value of 500 for height variation. So I gave 500 because I like the level of detail in this height landscape. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is save this landscape. I'll just go over and save it in this open world file. I'll just call it open world. Okay. I'll just save it. Next, uh, next we are gonna create a new material. Okay. So I'll create a new folder called materials. Okay. I'll just call it mat. Next, I'll just create a new material, call it open world material. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is open this material, paste it over here, create, change it to use material attributes. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is get our required textures. Okay. I'm going to go inside Fab and Megascans. I'm using all high textures because high textures usually come with a displacement texture file, so you can easily add a tessellation without using the blue channel of mask texture. So going into textures, and I'm gonna use four textures. Okay, I'm gonna take forest floor, um, surface, and wild grass. Okay, I'll just take all, paste over here. Okay, next, I'm just gonna convert everything into a parameter. Okay, I'll just call it texture one. Okay, or texture grass. Call it displacement grass, and I'll call it normal grass. Call it mask grass. Okay, I'll just add it a group name thing grass. Okay, I'll just create a group name grass and add every single of these textures into our group. Okay, next I'm gonna add the texture variation. Call this node, and what I'm gonna do is get it, and from over here I'm going to change it to derivative. Okay, and I'm going to do it for every single one. Next, what I'm going to do is get the dx, dy, and your shifted UVs into here. Okay. Sorry for the disturbance, guys. Just start over. Okay. I'll just add these things to everyone. Okay. Dx and dy. Next, what I'm going to do is get a texture coordinate. Yeah, I'll just connect everything to everything. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is create a scalar value, a scalar parameter called styling, and connect it into a multiply node. Okay. And for the next one, I'll get texture coordinate. Okay. And next, I'm gonna add this into our texture variation, texture UV. Okay. And for texture variation scale, I'll just promote it into a new variable. Okay. Uh, called texture variation scale. I'll just give it a value of random value of 2.4. Okay. I think this is good. Save it. And what I'm going to do is put everything together, put these together and promote this into a function. So it'll be looking really nice. I'll just collapse it into a function and call it my texture variation. Okay, TX VAR. Okay, I'll just save it as texture variation. Okay, I'll just save it as texture variation in our content browser. Okay, they are all the files. So we're not here. Yeah, texture variation. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'll just go into our open world material and pull this over here. I'll leave the default value as 1 as we don't want an extreme infinitely large image for our case, and I'll create another one called set material attributes. Okay, I'll just add functions such as base color, metallic, specular, not specular. I don't want specular. I'll keep roughness and normal. Here's normal. And for the other one, I made the question. And for the last one, I'll keep it displacement. Okay, I'll just add everything to our textures. Okay, and this will go to red. Okay, for displacement, what I'm going to do is sometimes you won't be having a separate displacement texture. Okay, so in order to prevent that, I'll just create another one, a static switch called that, uh, a switch. Okay, and I'll just add over here. And for switch values, the default one will be this, and not this one. I'll just break this thing. For the default one, this will be this, and for the normal one, will be blue. Okay, switch value, or nah, let it be the inverted one. Okay, break this link. For the switch value, it will be this one, and for default, it will be 1. Okay, if this is 0, uh, it will be your mask channel, or if it is 1, it will be your displacement channel. Okay, next, I am going to uh, add a name readout. Okay, call it grass, and I am going to just comment this or convert it into a function. Okay, collapse it into a function, and I'll call it setmat. Okay, if I go into the setmat value, and I'll just create another input, function input, and for this, instead of vector 3, I'll just give it function input a bool. Okay, and I'll go back over here, and for input bool, I'll just create another something called static bool parameter. Okay, I will call it separate displacement texture. Okay, I'll just enable it by default, and this is for one single texture, and I'm going to create multiple texture value. Okay, I'm just going to call it styling underscore grass, and I'll just put it into our grass function, and same thing for this. Okay, texture underscore grass, and put it in our grass function. Okay, now if I connect it into our material attribute, and I'll just paste it over here, and we'll go into our open world, and I'll just create uh, a material instance, and I'll just put it over here for our landscape. For some reason it isn't just pasting. Yeah, okay. We just got our we just got random variation to our entire landscape, as you can see over here. I'll just save this and go into our open world material. Okay. What I'm going to do is just comment it and call it grass. Just extend it. Okay. And I'll just duplicate it and call it dirt. Okay. And I'll just rename this to dirt. Okay. Same over here. I'll just call it dirt. Okay. I'll just rename this to dirt. And same over here. I'll just delete it and create a new one. I can just rename that, but I want to create a different color, and for some reason I just deleted it. uh, Random color. So I'll just rename this to dirt. Okay. Now, if you can see, they are under the grass group. Okay. I'll just create a new group called dirt, and I'll just change every single thing to dirt. Okay. I'll just change every single thing to a new group called dirt. I'll just save this and break this material attribute and get blend material attributes. For alpha, I'll just kind of grass, and for beta, B, I'll give dirt. Okay. For alpha, I'll just give landscape layer sample. Okay. I'll just call it grass. No, I'll just call it dirt. Okay. If you want, or just name it grass or something. Okay. I'll just put it over here. Save it. Okay. Now you can see it hasn't changed anything because it is a non-weight based landscape material. So if I go here, I'll open my material instance and I'll just go to content and there is fab. Okay, I'll go to fab Megascans for surfaces and I'll go for forest flow maybe. I just didn't download. Um, I don't want for that one. That looks way too much inside like a forest. Oh, same one. Sorry. Mm, uh, nah, I think I just didn't download it. Okay, I'll just download something from Fab real quick. Okay, go over here. I'll just type for dirt and we'll just take the soil dirt. Okay, I'll just get the high quality because in high quality you'll get the displacement textures. We'll wait till it downloads. Yeah, it is downloaded and right now it is being imported. Go in here and go for this and for textures I'll just now we can't see uh, texture because I think there's a small variation in set material. For this instead of bool I'll try giving static bool and I'll just close this and I'll just save it and I'll just open it again. Still not available. Hmm. We'll see inside grass. Oh, why? Um. Oh yeah. We didn't time it over here. Sorry guys. Now you can see all four textures are appearing over here. Okay, for dirt and for grass. And now I'm gonna switch everything for grass. I'll go into Fab and I'll go into soil, dirt. Okay, hi textures. I'll just swap it out and I'll save this. Okay, if I go over here and go into our landscape mode and uh, paint and add our materials, a new material will come here over here. Okay, I'll just call it grass layer info. No, I'll just add one and create a non-weight blended layer. Okay, I'll say this now. If I click it and paint it over here, you can see our sand like soil is being painted. Okay, a dirt is being painted. Okay, even this has some random texture variation. If you want the variation to be much different, I'll go over here and change the variation scale to 5. Okay, and if you look over here, be much different. Okay, and now that we have painted our sand, okay, now we are going to create an auto landscape material over there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is create another blend material attribute. Okay, blend. I'll just copy these three and paste it over here. And for I'll just add a slope mask, and I'll just add this over here, and I'll just change I'll just create a new variable named slope fall of power 1. I'll just call it fall of power 1 because this is going to be our first layer, and in our master material we are going to have multiple layer to provide a realistic a hint of realism. Okay, sorry guys, I was studying a lot. A hint of realism. So we'll just put it over here, and instead of this grass and dirt, I'll just create another one called another blend material attribute. Create it over here and create another one. I'll just remove my grass from here and dirt from here. Instead, I'm just gonna put add name readout, call it auto. Okay, I'll just paste auto over here in the top, and for the next one I'm going to paste grass, call it I'll call it dirt. Okay, and I'll just pull it here. Okay, sorry, I'll just put it over here, put it here, and put the alpha over here. No, this is supposed to go over here, and I'll just call dirt. Okay, now if we go, you can see everything has changed. Okay, it is because we are cheap contrast and fall of power are still at 1. What I'm gonna do is go over here and change the value. Okay, I'm just gonna give it a negative. Okay, I'll just give negative value of 5, and for the fall of power I'll give a value of 3. We'll see whether in these slopes we are able to see our soil. Okay, a value of 10. Yeah, we are able to see our soils over here. Okay, I'll just further increase it to 20. Yeah, this is much better, and value of 30 should do good. Yeah, this is perfect. Okay, this is perfect. Now I'll save this material, and I'll go over here, and I'll just close it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is create duplicates of this. Okay, two more duplicates. This one is for some rocky ground, and this one is for cliffs. Okay, I'll just change everything's name. I'll just copy this rocky ground thing, so it'll be easier for me to change the name. Mm. And I'll just create a new group called rocky ground and switch everything to that group. and rename this comment. Next, I'll just create call this way. I'll just call it cliff. Okay, just copy this cliff path so it'll be faster for me to create everything, change everything. Oh, sorry, name. I'll just call it cliff. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'll just break it and I'll just duplicate. Okay, one duplicate. I'll just delete it and delete it. This one is for our rocky ground, and another one, I'll just delete these, and this one is going to be for our cliff. Okay, and I'll paste it over here, and I'll change everything's name from for 1 to this to contrast, cheap contrast to 2. Same thing for here. I'll change it to 3, and I'll change it to 3. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do is get our rocky ground and our cliff over here. I'll just call it although layer. Okay, and I'll just duplicate these again. Okay, this is going to be for our rocky ground, and this is for our cliff. Okay, put it over here, and I'll just change everything's name to rocky ground, and this one to rocky ground. I'll just delete it, call it cliff, delete it. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have deleted that. I just name it cliff. Okay. Yeah. Now that we have created everything, we'll just go here, save it, and go for it. You can have seen it. Everything is reversed. So we'll go into our open world. I just closed it. And I um, we'll just open our instance. Okay. Now we'll change everything back to 0. Okay. If I'll just open everything. First, I'm going to decrease cheek contrast value to -3. Okay. Or I'll just place everything 0 to 0 because we won't be able to find any texture, which is which texture, because we haven't given any texture for our rocky ground and our cliff. Okay, so it'll be looking the same as our grass. For this, I'll go over here. Yeah, rocky ground, and wait a minute. Yeah, it is recording. Yeah. And for our cliff, I don't know why it isn't showing over here. I think we haven't changed our cliff's layer name from dirt, I think. Go over here. Yeah, it is still dirt. Copy this. Create a new group called cliff. I forgot to do it earlier. And I'll apply and save. Now, if I go over here and they should be cliff, yeah. Now I'll open my cliff texture and I'll paste everything over here. I'll just save it and just shrink it down. Go over here and look. Yeah, everything is looking like it is in our cliff texture, okay? But we don't want our entire landscape to be looking like a cliff, okay? I'll just close it and go over here and give it a negative value because we are going to have our first texture, okay, the top one, not the bottom one, okay. So I'll just quickly explain it, what is happening over there, why I am giving a negative value, because if we are giving negative value in a cheap contrast, it will take the A path, okay. A path is for negative and B